Hello and welcome to this special bonus episode of $100 Plus Mileage. We usually focus on New Hampshire legislation in this podcast, but we're smack in the middle of an election season. So rather than focusing on how you can make your voice heard in the legislative process, we're turning our attention to the elections. Don't worry though, as always, we keep it nonpartisan here at Citizens Count. We want to tell you in this episode how you can advocate for your cause, whatever that may happen to be, through the election process. I'm Mike Dunbar, Director of Content for Citizens Count.
And I'm Anna Brown, Executive Director of Citizens Count. Mike, election season is here, and it's hard to turn on the TV or pull up a news site without being bombarded by messaging from candidates and interest groups. Still, if you have a cause you care deeply about, now is a great time to advance that cause by getting involved in the electoral process. We've gathered up a little list of some concrete steps listeners can take to do just that.
We certainly have. And before we begin, for those listening, don't worry, you don't need to take any notes. We have this entire list available as an article on our website at citizenscount.org, as well as other helpful how-to style articles in our advocacy toolkit section of our website. More on that later. Also, this is part of the Know Your Vote Youth Voter Guide Initiative, a project of the Granite State News Collaborative. Okay, Anna, if I'm just getting started here, where should I begin?
Well, some of us are deeply committed to advancing particular causes, but if that's not you, that's okay. One way to find inspiration is to review the list of important New Hampshire policy topics on our website, citizenscount.org. If you already have a cause you're passionate about, drill down to find out what specific policy debates are happening surrounding this issue. For example, if your cause involves advancing animal rights, you might focus on banning retail pet shops, banning the breeding of animals with birth deformities, or banning animal testing, and then consider where your ideal candidate would stand on those bills.
Yes, the Citizens Count topic pages are a great place to start for that. You can also try researching advocacy groups related to your cause. Most of them will indicate what specific initiatives they are currently fighting for or against.
Exactly. No need to reinvent the wheel on your own. A bigger organization can help you amplify your voice. Is your concern drug policy? New Futures might be doing work that interests you. Do you live and breathe the New Hampshire No Tax Pledge? Check out the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers. There are groups that advocate for homeschooling, solar power, fewer business regulations, pro-life, pro-choice, for gay rights, for religious rights, STEM in schools, and on and on.
Exactly. Choose your own adventure. So, I've done some soul searching. I've identified my cause and some specific policy proposals I care about. What's next?
Well, since we're focusing on advocating through elections, the next step is to identify your candidates and find out where they stand. Depending on your cause, you may be better off focusing either on state level candidates or federal candidates. For example, federal candidates probably don't have much they can do about local zoning laws. State candidates, meanwhile, don't have much they can do about the war in Ukraine. The easiest way to get started will be to identify who will be on your ballot, which is easy to do when you click Elections on the Citizens Count website, and then see if they took a stand on your cause. You can also check out their campaign websites, though these are often light on substantive policy positions.
Yeah, it always surprises me how often candidates create these websites that say almost nothing substantive about where they stand on policy.
If I see one more, I support veterans or I support families, I swear to God, a lot of these websites seem to be nothing but buzzwords and vibes. I go back to what we said earlier about identifying specific policy proposals on an issue. For example, it's easy to find a candidate who says they support more childcare options in general. How do you hold them accountable to that, though? You get them to talk about specific policy ideas, like maybe a business tax credit for childcare, or fewer training requirements for workers, or scholarships for parents.
Exactly. And here's a great opportunity to talk about a great new feature we just rolled out on the Citizens Count website to help voters. A convenient way to compare issue positions is our candidate comparison tool at citizenscount.org. This feature is accessible to our website members who sign up for a free account with us. You just select your town and the elected office, so US President, Governor, State Senate, whatever, and you'll see a list of all your candidates along with their issue positions on important issues side by side.
Hopefully, listeners will excuse a few shameless plugs here in this episode, but hey, this stuff is our jam.
Does it count as a shameless plug if everything we offer is free to use? Maybe. Oh well.
But you can go a step further than using our website. Attend a campaign event and ask the candidate about your issue. In politics, this is sometimes called bird dogging, especially if the candidate's answer is recorded and shared. It's a great way to get candidates to address the issues that don't come up in more polished media interviews. Sometimes moments like this make big headlines too. I remember when one of our Citizens Count employees asked Hillary Clinton a question about the death penalty back in 2015 at an event at the NHIOP. It made national headlines because it was the first time she had addressed the death penalty on the campaign trail.
You might also consider holding an event to rally others to your cause and invite a candidate who shares your views. Doing this not only allows you to meet the candidate, but illustrates that other voters care about the topic.
An event doesn't have to be a fancy rally, though. You can invite a candidate to a local business or nonprofit related to your cause, then host a tour or listening session.
And if hosting an event gives you social anxiety, honestly, I'm right there with you. You could also try writing a letter to the editor. Local legislators are probably reading these pages more often than your average voter, so it's a good way to reach candidates, too.
Writing gives some of us flashbacks to high school English essays, but don't worry, you needn't fancy yourself a writer to write an impactful letter to the editor. Instead, draft a concise summary of what your cause is and why it matters to you. You can back up your ideas with some facts and figures, but try including a short anecdote explaining how the issue has impacted you or your loved ones. Stories are what readers tend to remember. You can read a full step by step guide on writing a good letter to the editor on our website under that advocacy toolkit section we mentioned earlier.
But if writing really isn't your jam, you can always just pick up the phone and give your candidates and elected officials a call. Remember, your legislators are in office to represent your voice as a citizen. This doesn't just matter when it comes to voting on bills, it also matters when they sponsor new bills for the legislature to consider. Coincidentally, sitting legislators have a chance to request new bills in September, smack dab in the middle of election season. Newly elected legislators have a chance to request bills after the election in November.
With that in mind, consider whether a change in state law could benefit your cause. If it would, you can try contacting your legislator about your proposal. It may turn out that advocacy groups related to your cause have already done some of the legwork on this. Either way, discussing how you think the law should change with your legislator is a great way to support your cause. You can learn more about helping bring a bill to life in that same advocacy toolkit available in our website's navigation bar. Okay, I think that officially does it for shameless plugs for now.
For now. If you're thinking about getting involved in this way, don't delay. With the state primary already behind us, we have the general election coming right up on November 5th. You can do it, and if you need help, you know where to find us, citizenscount.org. And with that, let's wrap up this bonus episode with a bit of bonus trivia. What have you got for our Only in New Hampshire segment, Anna?
Well, it's fall now, which might make you think of foliage, Halloween, or pumpkin spice lattes. But there's another autumn festivity that has gone by the wayside, and I think it's time to bring it back. Have you ever heard of Gate Night?
Gate night. No, this sounds kind of old timey. What is it?
So get this. In rural communities, it wasn't uncommon for October 30th revelers to run around unlocking livestock gates to let animals roam free. Some brief Googling tells me it was a popular name and activity around Pennacook in particular, but also some other parts of New Hampshire. Other popular names for the night before Halloween are Devil's Night and Cabbage Night.
Cabbage night.
Yes, apparently kids would leave rotting vegetables like cabbage on people's front porches.
Oh, that's evil. I love it.
Some say trick or treat even arose as a bargain between those mischievous kids and homeowners. We'll lay off the mean tricks in exchange for a sweet treat.
Surprisingly diplomatic.
I mean, I do have to say, Gate Night would also wreak havoc in my home city of Manchester. We wouldn't have livestock running free, but I can tell you right now that there are absolutely some people of interesting repute who have been known to break into gates around my property, whether it's gated parking and like illegal parking, leaving trailers in our parking lot. So there was also a gated area that an alleged drug dealer used to set up shop around one of the corners of my building. I live in a converted mill, so there's lots of little nooks and crannies. So yeah, Gate Night, man, not just for the rural area.
Yeah, I mean, just carrying on a time-honored New Hampshire tradition of little trespassing here or there. It's just part of the culture, that's all.
To be fair, I have also seen chickens roaming my neighborhood, which is very strange considering I don't know where these people are keeping the chickens. And also, maybe it says something to city life that when I saw the chicken, my first thought was not eggs, but actually, is there a chicken fighting ring around here?
Well, I'm thinking of all of these sort of forgotten New Hampshire laws that we've talked about in the past with, the poultry trespassing, and then there's the
How about the stolen stone walls?
stealing the stone wall. Exactly. Yeah. So there really is a law for everything in New Hampshire if you go back far enough. Well, That about does it for this bonus episode for $100 plus mileage, but you can find more information and episodes at citizenscount.org. We'd like to thank Franklin Pierce University for producing and the Granite State News Collaborative for hosting. This episode is part of the Know Your Vote Youth Voter Guide Initiative, a project of the Collaborative. Our theme music is composed by me, Mike Dunbar. And lastly, we thank you for giving us a listen and thinking about how you can be part of what makes New Hampshire by the people, for the people.